Double to me.
I will.
Sure. I'm here, okay? I can ult from behind.
One shot, by the way.
Ult them first as well.
Yeah, look guys, I'm leaving. I'm ulting. I can tank as well. I'm not tanking, okay?
I'm 1 HP.
I'm with one.
Wait.
I tank. I tank one more. I'm out.
Nice. Push up. This is so huge.
Xin Zhao is coming.
Wait, it doesn't matter. Go.
I have passive. I think it's useless here. I'm going more.
Go. Xin Zhao, focus. Senna no flash. Nice.
Good job, guys.
That's very fast.
Welcome back everyone. So as we saw from this clip as well, G2 had a very good bot dive, and I kind of wanted to break it down with Eragon, so I will just roll the clip right away. We see BB here in the top lane. He has pushed against Oscarinin and is looking to proxy. Why can Zac do this, Eragon?
So historically, Zac has always been like a kind of anti-tank champion because it allows him to free scale. With the recent buffs to Zac's healing from 4% max HP to 5% based on level, he's able to sustain through any lane, and this allows him to get pushed like this eventually as he scales up.
And then obviously G2 bot lane here have a slow stacked wave coming into the side of Fnatic. Caps also has mid push. So top push, mid push and bot push. Also TP advantage on Broken Blade. So if I keep rolling this clip, we saw it as well. BB wanted to double TP. Caps was like, I'll run down. Obviously then BB goes for the teleport on the tower here, as we can see. Mikyx starts tanking. Eventually Yike starts tanking, and they get a 3-4-0 and a really clean bot dive. So to me, this was kind of a well set up play from G2. They obviously knew that they have 3 lanes of prio, they have TP advantage, and I really like the kind of creativity with the TP advantage. Usually nowadays we see kind of only top laner coming down, but this time around there was 5 people making a really sick dive play, and I really liked it personally. Zac kind of enabled this in the first place.
I think fundamentally this is a really good play because naturally over time G2 do get outscaled, right? This is a really hard LeBlanc game to play because you're against Nautilus lockdown as well as a Poppy topside, so you can't distortion in, right? So they want volatility, they want these early plays, and bringing BB down was a great way to do that.
Clean first game from G2. Let's see if they can keep it up. Back to you, Laure.
Thank you, Treatz and Eragon, for a fantastic breakdown on this top side of the map, but I want to focus on the bot side of the map with earlier and what happened here this game. Healy, first things first, thank you for sticking around and staying for this post-match. You're going to stick around for the draft as well, but focus on bot lane here. What happened during that game, Healy? How do you explain the fact that G2 was able to steamroll the way they did?
I mean, honestly, I didn't really watch the early game too much.
It's fine.
But I saw some of the replays, and I feel like they're playing Lucian Nami into Senna lane, and I feel like they capitalized in the windows that they had to take to win. I mean G2.
Yeah.
So I feel like if G2 didn't look for those dives and those plays with numbers advantage on bot, I feel like Senna lane usually outscales them. So I think it's very crucial for G2 to take these windows and try to look to dive, and like I think this was very important for them to win, and they took their chances. So I feel like they played well.
If you are on Fnatic side playing Senna Nautilus, like how would you want to play the laning phase generally, and how would you want your team to play around you to like make sure that you don't get constantly dove and pressured in this way? Is there anything the two of them can do?
I think it's very important for them to match the numbers, but I think if you have like top prio and mid prio, and your jungle can invade as well, it's very hard for Senna to play the game because she wants to generate trade in lane to get souls and get strong. And if you're not allowed to do that from because of other reasons and not because of bot lane matchup, then you're just sitting duck. You do have TP on Nautilus at least, so even if you die, you can TP back, but it's not optimal.
On a strict champion and matchup perspective, we have been criticizing Lucian and Lucian paired with Nami. We saw yesterday, for instance, in the series you played against SK Gaming, that the champions didn't work quite well, whether it was on the bot lane or in the mid lane. How would you rate Lucian right now and paired with Nami, especially given the bot lane changes on these support items?
I personally think Lucian Milio is a better lane and just better in the game. I'm not too keen because I feel like Lucian Nami was strong when you had 2 support items and your Nami was strong, and the Blood Song on Lucian didn't really slow him down. And I feel like it fit them very well, but now that it's gone, I feel like they're maybe even much weaker than they were before, but I'm sure there are still places to look for quick plays. They're very good at just chunking somebody and just getting out, and I feel like this are the leads. It's kind of like LeBlanc on mid lane, but as a duo, you have this different play style, which I feel like if you see these windows in game and you take them as a team, then it can be very oppressive, just like G2 did.
Yeah.
But if you don't see the windows and you're just playing Lucianami because other people are playing Lucianami, then it looks useless and.
Says a lot about the level of comfort and the level in general that G2 has been giving us. Broxah, how you feel?
Well, I think in general this is like a pretty typical G2 draft where, you know, there's some flex picks with the early Maokai, and then they pretty much lock in a very highly mechanical, hard to execute team comp, look Fnatic straight into the eyes and tell them, we're going to go aggressive, we're going to outplay you and destroy you in the early game, and you're not going to be able to come back from it. And that's essentially what happened. Like, once Fnatic make one little mistake in the early game, it just goes so wrong so quickly.
And that's the thing, because we saw the how the game was going, and Healy, you were with us backstage saying, but look at that, if they can take this next fight, in the 30-35 minutes point, they have Senna, they have Azir. If they can hold it, they might come back because they have the scaling, but they couldn't. So Fnatic being on blue side next game, what kind of adjustments do you want to see?
I'm not
because scalings didn't work.
I'm not really sure. I'll probably bundle LeBlanc because it's caps, and I feel like he's a very creative player, and I feel like this champ gives him a lot of tools to just play with the enemy and like also kill them. I think Zach right now is very underrated, and this champ is very OP in my opinion if you can lane, and I feel like Poppy doesn't really stop him from laning, and I'm not sure how. I mean, they can go with Lucianami again. I'm not a big fan. I think they can win with other stuff as well. Yeah, I think even previous game I was believer, as you said, that Fnatic could win. But I feel like they didn't really make it very hard for the enemy when they were like going to Nash and they like Razork was dead. I feel like they could just push mid, push bot, get Azir tower and just slow them down and just buy more time on the tier 2s, keep defending. I feel like they could have won actually, even with like 10k lead down. But and it's best of 3, don't forget. So I think making enemy like very exhausted in this type of situations, making them a big, like let's say that you're 10k down, but you play for 40 minutes, and you make them sweat. It takes a toll on you for the next game, and I think it's better than just go to Nash and hope for the best, die and go next game, you know?
Yeah, I just want to see if they change their approach here or if they're confident in what they had prepped today against G2 with the Varus being locked in early. So it looks like it's going to be a different approach.
We're already seeing a slightly different draft, which is natural considering that Fnatic is on the blue side this time around. Last draft, G2 banned Aphelios, Brand, and Varus. Now they adjusted the strategy and they ended up banning Kalista, leaving Varus open. And, well, if we've looked at the AD carry pool so far, Huli, is there really any other option for G2 than the Aphelios into Varus at this point?
I think there is. For example, Jhin, I think Ezreal you can play, I think you can maybe play Zerakan too. But Aphelios is just strong AD carry, you can pair him with Enchanter, you can pair him with Engage, and you're red side so you can give counter pick to support. I think that's very important. Or you can blind pick Blitzcrank like against us and we can't play against it. But yeah, I think it's just solid draft so far. I don't know if they're gonna opt into playing Ashe. I don't know if John plays Ashe, but I feel like Ashe is pretty strong right now.
Yeah, obviously we've seen you guys play some Varus Ashe both today and yesterday. Like if you're the Varus side here, you see them locking in Aphelios, do you think, like what other alternatives could there be than the Ashe? How could you shut down the Aphelios early on?
Honestly, I'm not sure what they're exactly playing, but I think if just playing through bot and winning would be better. I think they have Xin Zhao, so maybe Ashe is not the best pick. But yeah, they can take a lot of different approaches. They can also just blind pick Orianna as well, I think. Let's see, it's Marek Orianna, so...
And there it is.
Yeah, I think it's just...
Nice read.
I think if you have Marek Orianna, just take it. It's not banned, and you just make them show more picks and maybe hope that you can get better support matchup. I don't know. Any
OPs that you want to lock in here, or do you want to match?
Well, I think you just match, honestly, with probably a Kali or something.
Well, it's Cap, so it could be many of
That's the thing, yeah.
many of a big pool of champions, and I guess because it's Caps, they decide to prioritize Milio, drop it, pick mid lane later. I think it's interesting Fnatic win for the Jax as well, because often Jax is a top lane pick, but we've actually seen it a little bit into Xin Zhao.
It's probably Flex, yeah.
Yeah, a bit of an old school counter, but now...
Not a fan, honestly, but...
we'll see how it plays out. Now if you're G2, obviously Blitzcrank is being banned. What else would you be looking for, assuming they're going to ban another support to secure a good bot lane for themselves?
Honestly, I'm not really scared from... If I was G2, I'm not scared of any other picks. I think Blitzcrank is just enough. I feel like anything else wouldn't be so good. Maybe Ashe, but I don't see it. But yeah, I think they're just gonna ban something else. I don't think it's support. And if they do, then it's just like a niche pick that John is playing probably. Yeah, I'm not sure what is he gonna play against the Aphelios Milio. Can be, I don't know, can be many things. Honestly, it's kind of hard to decide. There is Dash, just respect ban. But what is he playing actually? I have no idea.
Well, there's a lot of support options still on the table.
Could be Varus top as well still, right? So.
Yeah, in theory it could even be Varus top. Although we do need to keep in mind that G2 is probably gonna pick their mid laner now and leave 5 for Broken Blade.
They banned the Zac, so I'm really happy. That's a good step to success, I think.
The Zac has been removed. Support options available could be something like a Renata, it could be Rakan, it could be Nautilus,
I'm not a big fan of Renata into Milio.
What do you think about something like Bart to spice it up and play aggressive now that Ashe is gone?
Honestly, with Azir log, I think it's if he can play it, I think it's a great pick. Other than that, I think Bard is just a great pick. Yeah, Nautilus, but yeah, it's Nautilus Bard. I think one of the other, unless he plays something niche like Heimerdinger or something.
That would be pretty spicy.
Yeah. Yeah, just Nautilus and what are we missing? Jungle into Xin Zhao? Or maybe it's top laner?
Yeah, they need to make the decision now, right? They could lock in something like Cassandra for Oscar, but...
No, it's banned. Sadly.
Oh, true. My eyes are assuming it was banned in first
Oscar
three.
isn't anything you have to ban. So what's this? Gragas top? Blind? Jungle? I guess double flex still?
Yeah, I actually like this pick a lot because...
TF top?
you rarely see
Finally,
you know, Gragas being picked in general nowadays, but I think you can actually get away with playing it in jungle versus Xin Zhao. Probably pretty smart because she's going to be happy into both Jax and Gragas. But now, Huli, I'm wondering, which side of the draft would you want to be on as like a support? Which side would you know, be the most satisfied with?
I mean, I can see both teams winning. Honestly, I don't think it's like one-sided. Not fan of the Jax into the Xin Zhao, but it's Razork. Maybe he can make some leads in the game. But it's still like so hard to teamfight against Poppy, Azir and Milio. Like I don't see how he goes in and like does anything against Milio. So if John doesn't have a good game, then I don't know how. I would be rather the Aphelios Milio with scaling and forward line in front of you.
So if you're Fnatic being in this tough position, what do you think the win con should be? Like how would you come back from like this tough start and with this draft?
Well, I think they have to play early game through bot. They have the Nautilus, and after level 6 they must make mid lane isolated. If Caps makes a shuffle on Orianna and people are not there, then I think it's going to be a one-sided game. So they need to defend the Orianna at level 6 and play through bot, make top lane scale, and I don't know. I guess Oscar has to carry with Gragas later on, but it's kind of hard, honestly.
Big responsibilities on his side. Healy, thank you so much for all your insights. I love hearing you two talk about the game. Honestly, could listen to this for ages. But for now, casters, back to you for game 2.
No, you guys can keep talking if you want. We're chilling. I was enjoying it too. Hilly obviously offering his perspective. I'm inclined to agree, and not just because he's Hilly, but because it's just simple. Interesting, the previous game, G2 put themselves under an incredibly high burden of execution. This game, not really. Very simple composition, but very powerful.
Yeah, they don't really have to do a huge amount in the early stages. They just outscale, especially with poke Varus on the opposite side. Your Aphelios does nuts damage. And it kind of feels like it's Razork Humanoid versus the world. Like, if you can get this 2v2 rolling after level 6, maybe you can find these big shockwaves where you can have that control that wins the game. But it feels like if you don't hit Caps and Hansama with those combos, it kind of just nullifies itself.
Yeah. Curious to see how aggressive Noah and Jun can get on the bottom side in the early laning phase. Obviously at a range disadvantage, but with Hail of Blades and a longsword start, you should pull ahead in sustain at least, as long as you've got pots ready to go. Caps waiting in the brush here. Will have spotted out. He's going to drop a ward. Didn't see him. Is waiting. Is going to force the flash out early. Nice early boon to the side of Fnatic. Can they punish? Going to make ganking mid so easy, especially in the first few levels. If he doesn't take Shifting Sands level 2, he might find himself the victim of a very aggressive game. Halo Blades continuing to proc. Mikyx going to do what he can with some warm hugs and Guardian. G2 actually coming out on top in that trade overall.
The thing is, though, you end up with this scenario where you're probably going to end up with a split map for Yike, who's going to try and go in to steal away the boost on the opposite side. But I think that kind of favors Fnatic in a lot of ways, where you're just like, cool, we can just keep the pressure on bot side, let Noah and Jun to play hyper-aggressive and make sure you're in a good spot. They even got a ward on Wolves to spot exactly what the pathing is here from Yike. So all said and done, I think Fnatic very happy with one burning Caps flash. Now opens up Razork to try and play for there. And
Poppy level 1 appears to be stronger than Gragas level 1, which is not very surprising, but Broken Blade pushing it to the fullest extent. Okay, he's going to land on a Mikyx. Nice start coming in. Noah, 1, 2, 3 on the Hail Blades auto. Is only going to get 2, as well as the Hail of Arrows, but good trade overall. And I'm ready to see what Noah can do, honestly, on the lethality Varus. He looked so solid on it yesterday. Looking for an opportunity at redemption after that game 1. Pretty lackluster Senna game. Wasn't really able to have a lot of impact.
Well, they know that Yike's on this bottom side, so I wouldn't be surprised if they just try and crash. Well, he needs to crash his wave fairly quickly before he makes his way in. Up goes White again from Jun.
Yeah, a little bit tricky there. Cozy Campfire fading away, and Noah taking a lot of damage. But a recall going to come through. Noah and Jun just fighting to get the wave pushed in, as you mentioned. Maybe hoping for an early recall, of course, by starting Longsword. That much easier to get the early serrated Dirk, which is big for early trades.
Yeah, the thing is, though, they have to kind of put themselves in harm's way to go for this, especially as you start to tick over to 3 for Mikyx. Having access to the Cozy Campfire is going to be massive, but here we go.
Oscarinin looking for the setup, looking for the angle. Gets the body slam in first. Razork can now take his time. He doesn't need to leap strike. But he's going to go for it. Broken Blade doesn't use the Steadfast Presence, interestingly enough. Maybe wanting it for the movement speed steroid. It's done there. Flash in. Steadfast Presence comes out now, but all the dashes have already been used, and that's first blood. And that's certainly one way to play the game. We didn't really talk about it. You expect top lane to be a neutralizing matchup, but if you can build a big enough lead for Razork and Oscarinin by going top, that is one way to snowball this game out of control.
Yep, really nice start, and even Yike not really in a position to try and go for a play on mid. You can see him hovering there, so at least you get that early kill going, where Razork, with that successful kill in his back pocket, would now be even more threatening when he starts to make his way towards mid. I do think you kind of need Orianna to hit level 6 before she can become a real threat on, like, say, 2 to 3 person skirmish. Well, sorry, 3 person skirmishes to say, but in like a 2v2, I think if you've got the opportunity with Razork already having this advantage, I think you can play more for the 2v2 on mid as well. But yeah, you can see now what we were talking about on bot side. Without having that push fully on bot side, there's a massive wave now crashing. So you probably just see Hansama and Mikyx. I was going to say reset here. You really want to get that off. Because Serrated Dirk already picked up for Noah off his reset, so yeah, they're just going to back it up.
Yeah, so Fnatic bot lane able to recall, able to get their first purchase, but then the bounce comes through, and now G2 going to look to do something similar. But they will back with more gold than Fnatic had at the time. So Hansama, you expect just an early boots 2 rush, but the pressure coming in from Jun and Noah means that G2 are going to be forced to stick around at an item deficit.
Yeah, I thought that we'd actually see G2 go for a much quicker reset, but they really wanted to make sure that wave crashed. I think there was too many minions for them to hold. And now they're kind of in a position where you will definitely lose one of the waves that's about to crash underneath, as Cap's taking a lot of damage from Humanoid. You need Yike to come down here to actually, well, maybe even take a pop shot at mid here as he starts to wander through.
Humanoid playing to the weak side of the lane right now. Will now spot Yike, realize that he's in trouble, has flash advantage, will be forced to immediately flash out to safety, leap in from Razork. No ulti coming in yet from Xin Zhao, but Yike wants to fully commit to the play, trying to lock down Caps. In the meantime, Humanoid still standing. Oh, just barely living, and Yike gets knocked down. Humanoid, balls of steel there, just barely managing to make it out alive. Excellent call from the mid-jungle duo, Rob. You called it, and on the bot side, we're already seeing the all-in, but Hansama, terrible guns for fight, means that there's nothing here for G2. An excellent hook now going in. Mikyx's going to be in trouble. Noah doesn't have the damage to follow up, but Yike is sprinting to the bottom lane to cover.
You've also got a Jax waiting in the bush as well. Razork trying to wait and see if they go back. Good palm from Oscarinin.
Knock back there, flash out. Broken Blade getting lower. Oh, Oscarinin just doesn't quite have the damage, but just like that, Fnatic explode into this game.
2 seconds onto his body slam. He wants to try and go for the E-Flash, but Broken Blade running for the hills. Not going to be able to follow him up, but gets BB off the wave and zones him away. So nicely done at least by Oscarinin to get control on that top side. And you see here, Yike goes for the E first. A lot of times you'll see the Xin Zhao do this because you still get the slow from the wind becomes lightning, but even with the knock-up, Humanoid just able to get the shield down to keep himself topped up. While on the opposite side, Razork is able to finish him off, and then having that pot running with the triumph. Massive, massive win for Fnatic in the mid lane. You can see the back-end staff delighted with that one.
I mean, a sigh of relief. You probably would have been okay with the 1-for-1, but the fact that you get the 2-for-1 is huge. Humanoid already pulling ahead, was playing probably too aggressively in that lane phase, trying to leverage the flash advantage. Shockwave there, caps. In the worst end of this trade, Humanoid continuing to step forward, but takes a few extra soldier autos. Mikyx there to cover with a cozy campfire. Not a ton of healing, but will mitigate some of the damage.
I do like it though, because when Humanoid, all he wants to do is try and push Caps out of the lane, or at least push him back, so they can look for the fight, or they can try and go for Dragon. But unfortunately, with that cozy campfire and just the pots that were available to Caps, he's going to be able to keep himself nice and topped up on the health bar. So G2 will still keep control on that bottom side of the map for the moment. So instead, looks like Razork going to go for an invade and see if he can just play off the push that Humanoid has in mid instead.
Yep, Humanoid playing to the top side where he's got Razork there to cover. And with Lost Chapter in his back pocket, should be that much easier to keep the wave pressure in his favor. Oscarinin going for more of an AP-focused build, so has to commit a bit more mana to clear the wave as opposed to the infinite bomby Cinder clear that Broken Blade is bringing to the table. But going in, not connecting. Ooh, arrow not hitting either. Definitely not an ideal trade. John has to be careful about stepping up too far. Broken Blade all on his lonesome, but yeah. Razork doesn't do that much damage quite yet. Might be a bit of a different story once Titanic comes through.
Yeah, we're unsure where Yike was as well, so don't want to fully commit. Jun going wide again.
Oh! Hansama continuing to step up. He doesn't do a lot of damage, but Jun, you know, whiffing a few too many hooks, I think, making it easier a little bit for Hansama and Mikyx.
Yeah, you kind of need to hit those, I'm not going to lie, especially in this matchup, but
Flash in, the auto will do the work. Now Noah trying to follow up, Hansama trying to bring it back. Flash in the hill there, it's not quite enough damage. Hansama on a sliver of life, but now it's Mikyx who's in trouble, only level 5. The hook from Jun, what's the cooldown left remaining? Not enough. Ultra Mega Fire Kick, disengaging.
Skill shots are hard for Fnatic in the bot lane, but not
Nice
for
pull
Humanoid.
Back. Good bit of damage. Caps pushing him back to the waiting arms of Yike, though. Good heads up on the 2v2, but Humanoid going to try to turn it back. Buying a bit more space. Command Protect not there. Razork wants to get in the flash, but no. Caps flashing out to safety. Humanoid a bit overconfident.
Fnatic had a great start to the early game, but it's starting to show the wheels coming off a little bit. Still have a 1.5k gold lead, so they're still not, you know, completely in denial, but definitely could have been pushing this advantage forward a little bit. Caps with a good swoop and boop there, sets up a nice kill for Yike to get back answers into what is not the best of matchups. But Yike goes away to steal away that is going to just kind of put a little bit of hurt into the mid jungle for Fnatic.
Yeah. And while Razork has an individual lead, obviously still a lot more about how the mid jungle work together, less about the 1v1. And on the bottom side of the map, frustrating, I think, for Fnatic, for Noah and Jun, as they were so close to finding kills on the bottom side, but really couldn't convert either. And that was a brief window of opportunity they tried to capitalize on, where Milio didn't have ult, so they just had more tools, more available to them. That, of course, no longer the case, as Mikyx was allowed to pick up that wave on the bottom side alongside Hansama.
Yeah, I think, though, with the fact that you've now got Hansama with no summoner spells, means that you can try and recreate that play when you get the ultimate backup from Jun. So I wouldn't be surprised to see as Razork enters into his top side, deny Void Grubs, just start to move back down towards this bottom side of the map and try and play off that fact as Jun's ultimate comes back off cooldown.
Wet Noodle fight. Reaching its conclusion. Oh!
He mistimed the flash. I think he was expecting a flash
He was
to come
expecting
in
the flash auto, I think.
Yeah. So Oscarinin just slightly off on it, but I mean, in that case, kind of better safe than sorry.
It's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't. So definitely took the safer line of play. Is a bit frustrating for him, obviously. The Gragas happy hour. Much longer cooldown since, you know, Gragas soloing was a big problem. 12 seconds now, so significantly less sustained. Will be forced to recall, forced to TP back to topside. He wants to catch this wave. But now that he has a Lost Chapter, I think things get a lot easier for Oscar. Clearing the wave a lot quicker.
Yeah, I think all that we're going to really see is them kind of keeping up this fight, but at least you're getting a lead for Oscarinin. I'm really keeping my eyes on to see what Razork does, because there is an opportunity to go for Void Grubs if he wants to, with the push now coming back in. But you do have to be careful, because Azir does have control, or sorry, the push in top. Azir has control over the mid wave, so you might need to wait a little second. So I'd actually much rather see him try and move down to the spot side, protect Noah and Jun as they start to push in on that bot side, and then also still be available if you want to try and go for some sort of play with both of those lockdown ultimates available in the bot lane. So reset comes through, and yeah, it looks like he's going to start moving into the spot side, but I think there's an opportunity here to try and force a bounce back on this wave for Fnatic, and then look for the play off of the reset.
Most certainly. Fnatic holding on to a gold lead for now, but again, when it comes to ease of execution, the later we get into the game, you have Aphelios, you have Azir, so much sustained damage. The Varus and Orianna together are going to be a lot more about that upfront burst. The Gragas coming in as well to disrupt these immobile carries. Similar, they talked about the Bard on desk. Gragas going to do something similar where he just makes immobile champions' life so difficult. But it has to be pretty flawless execution from Fnatic, because in terms of just the DPS check, G2 are always going to come out on top the later we get into the game.
Yeah, and I think that's where, if you can start the ball rolling early, you're going to be in a good spot. But you do have to be careful. Yike having that ultimate is going to be a pain, but if you go on top instead.
Steadfast presence there just to cover Oscar from escaping. The ulti going to come out. Well played. Just to knock both members back so he can body slam out to safety.
It means that Razork is going to be able to get this dragon on the bottom side, so I think nice timing here from Razork. One of the things that I was going to say is that you don't want Yike to be on the bottom side, because if you end up in a situation where you fully commit to the pit as Fnatic, it can cause issues, but they're going to fully commit to top instead.
Going for the dive again. Relatively squishy is the Gragas. Focusing on the plates now, though, not wanting to overcommit. Gragas always going to be a bit of a tricky champion to dive, has the sustain built into his passive as well as a decent amount of CC. So G2 will back away, be happy with a single plate.
So return on the bot side, though, means that Hans and Mickey have to respect the potential play for Jax being in the area, so Jax going to steal away a blue buff while they're also losing plates, so opening up Noah to have a little bit of advantage in the spot lane. So even if they are getting small advantages, or at least trying to slow down the advantages.
BB just committed his TP back to top lane. That's the cue for Fnatic to kick things off on the bottom side of the map. Mickey flash out to safety. Multiple summoner spells burn. Hansama ready to turn this one back, but the hook connects, and that's everything! One moment of overconfidence from Hansama, instantly punished by Fnatic, but Caps now ready to turn it about. Jun has been caught back. The pushback there as well coming in from Caps. Humanoid waiting over the wall, trying to lay the ball down. We'll use Razork as a delivery system, and that's another for Fnatic. 2 quick kills on the bottom side.
Fnatic are coming back. Fnatic do not want to let G2 take this in a 2-0 fashion. Great follow from Humanoid to make sure that they can punish Caps who's going down, and the hook from Jun crucial in setting G2's bot lane significantly far behind now.
Hansama, a bit of a misstep there, maybe over-eager. Broxah, of course, TP'd back to lane, desperate to force Oscarinin back so he can force out the TP as well. Otherwise, they're going to be at a massive summoner discrepancy. Oscar can just look to rinse and repeat a similar play on the bottom side if the opportunity presents itself. Mickey paying homage to Hylissang there as he runs forward to try to cancel that recall. Won't quite get the timing.
Razork is here, though, so I think you'll still end up losing this turret play. Maybe Razork can pick up a bit of bait. He's not even going to try to show.
He's got the white gun. You're going to lose 2, probably.
I think they're just trying to set up a play. Jun is in the way. They will get spot on the ward.
There to cover. TP on the bottom side. This is Oscar's TP advantage. No, it's Humanoid with the TP. Oscar still covering top side. Humanoid can just walk in. Shockwave not quite available, but I don't think he needs it. Hansama very powerful. They need the stun to connect. Mickey locked up, taken out. They're not going to overcommit on the dive into Hans. Razork on a rampage with this Jax.
Nice job from Fnatic to again get another kill to be able to take the plate to the turret as well for themselves on the bot side. Caps did get, I think, some plates for himself in the mid lane. Obviously, we ticked over to 14, so may not have gotten too many off of it, but the fact that he's able to at least answer a little bit is nice for G2, but Fnatic, like, they're taking over in this early game, and it's clean plays from the Fnatic side.
And what did you say when we got into this game? You said mid-jungle is where this has to come from. And while the bot lane has played well, while Oscar has played well to avoid some of these ganks, this really has been the Razork Humanoid show. Nothing is happening without these two guys involved. Razork 6 for 6 on kill participation. He has been everywhere with this Jax.
And the thing, another TP. This time it is
Oscar's TP. Every TP advantage they've got, they're throwing bot lane no matter who is there. Cap's just going to slide and glide out to safety. So that one's going to feel a bit frustrating. Someone's going to have to cover on the top side, and it has given G2 access to the Herald. So potentially over-eager for the Fnatic top laner.
And there's not very much that you can really answer for Fnatic because of where G2 are positioned. The Azir turret on the bot side will slow down any pressure onto the tier 2. You can't commit to mid because G2 still have members up onto his top side.
Broken can roam over, but Razork's pretty powerful. Yike now looking for the knock-up. Cap's going for the 1v1 versus Oscar. Oscar going to body slam through, flashing in as well. Good damage coming in for the AP Gragas. We have to keep our eyes on Broken. Clean knockback onto the support, but Razork's still standing, and that's one damn powerful Jax. Backed up by Humanoid in the exchange. The 1v1 in the picture-in-picture. Caps versus Oscar. Oscar is not winning this one, but a bit of extra healing coming in from the happy hour. Just drink it away, Oscar, but it's not nearly enough. Caps coming in for the 1v1 kill.
The spear goes in deep, and there's nothing that you can really do in that one. Oscarinin goes down, but on the top side as well, Fnatic getting the wins again, playing off the fact that Jax is massive, and now getting vision control on this top side. They're going to set up to take that tier 1 on the top end of the map. And again, Fnatic just playing so incredibly well around this 4-man unit.
Yeah, well played, good presence of mind to go in and force the fight there. A lot of ways that they've now just been able to extend this lead. 2K might not have been that significant, but 4K ticking over to 5 as Caps will recoup some of the loss here, but it's still very much in the favor of Fnatic. Noah silently accumulating quite a large gold lead as well. This is going to be very tough for G2 to play out.
And this was where G2 thought they were just going to be able to take this, and Fnatic were not going to contest. Aphelios moves back towards the wave, and because of that, you're completely on your own here as Yike. He's just trying his best to get out of there. But by the time Hansama comes across, Yike's already dead, and now you've just got this massive unit that's able to focus on the top side of the map, while everyone else on G2 just has to run away.
Laughing, having a good time backstage for the Fnatic fans. They're feeling good. A lot of those Fnatic fans look surprisingly similar to the Mad Lions Koi fans from yesterday.
Suspicious.
Hey,
Suspicious.
you are?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, I see what it is. You're Mad Lions Koi fans first, but Fnatic fans second. But I like that you have a hierarchy there. I respect that.
Look, there's a few more Spanish on the Fnatic side, right?
I think that's
how
fair.
it goes.
Old mate Razork, doing good work.
Oscarinin as well,
yeah. And Razork having a hell of a game.
Yeah. Razork has honestly been stepping up massively for Fnatic, not even just this split, like all of last year as well. Like I said on the podcast, Summer, I think he was my best jungler of the split. I think he played absolutely fantastically, and now I'm going to see if he can try and take that hurt onto Caps. But
no, already doing good damage. Yike backing away, which is never a good sign when your two members are running from the Jax. Of course, they do know that Humanoid's on the way, so don't want to overcommit here.
Yeah, I think also, well, you didn't have the TPs up, but unsure if there was going to be some TP shenanigans coming in on the back line as well, because you've got the opportunity there with maybe deep wards because of how far you've pushed up, but we'll have to see as they start to move forward if that is going to continue. I think it's going to be difficult here with the way the map is set up for Fnatic though, because you've got push here for Humanoid. Push going in against Humanoid, and he's not really able to contest the wave state because they don't know where Yike is. Oscarinin also pushed in, so it'll take a little bit of time. I think it'll be the Dragon that's up in at 17 minutes. Oh, actually, up at the moment, sorry. It's going to be the next point of contention for them, where they can start to move over and look for that big team fight alongside Razork.
And you can see Yike shadowing Caps right now. They know they can't really contest this break, so instead, hoping to create an advantage on the side lane. Yike just endlessly starting and stopping that recall. But not going to find the angle. Humanoid will not overcommit, so a free Drake for Fnatic. And now he's at the threshold where I feel like Fnatic composition is so strong. I didn't know if we would ever get the opportunity to talk about it, but when you have a Jax with an Orianna ball strapped to him, you create so much space that Noah's life is easy.
Yeah.
He gets to sit back and charge Qs, and he's not going to need to contribute more than that in most fights. And that's that's exactly where you want to be as Poke Varus. And if it had been a situation where he was dead even, Hansama and Caps were dead even against their opposing members, he might have needed to do more. It might have been much more difficult to navigate these fights, but now he just gets to take pot shots and know that Razork can jump in and do work.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage, it's basically G2 trying to bring out what G2 had for their wins earlier on in the split. It's like, look, we fall behind early, but then we turtle, and it's impossible to break us. It feels like it's not as impossible with this lineup on Fnatic to do so. But G2 are just trying to slow down the pace of the game. Give resource to Caps. Caps working up towards Rabadon's death cap.
Yeah.
He's been constantly collecting side lanes with Yike working with him to keep that in check. And you still have Broken Blade. He's pushing in effectively against Oscarinin. So G2, as long as they can turtle, can stall out. But it's on Fnatic to use these brushes and these little areas where G2 want to contest for vision, to look for Noah's ultimates, to look for Humanoid for these big shockwaves.
Right now, Broken Blade on the bottom side, matching up 1v1 versus Oscarinin. Hansama getting a bit more poke down. Broken going for the all-in here. Big shield coming in courtesy of the Seraphs. So in the extended trades, Poppy with Kayn and Grookern, kind of unsurprisingly gonna win out.
Yeah, I think he lost 100 HP as BB.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fair trade.
Yeah, every 12 seconds, Gragas gets to heal like 4% of his max health. Every 12 seconds, Broken Blade gets a like 800 damage magic shield. So you can kind of...
you can do the math.
You can put that one together yourself. on how exactly those trades are going to go if the lane runs long enough. And that's good for G2 at least. The big thing that Fnatic have to do is like you cannot lose focus. You cannot disrespect G2's composition. They are behind in terms of damage. You are heavily favored. And Mikyx is dead for even walking in here, or at least forced to flash. Nope, he's dead. They are full committing to killing this Milio. The entire team now ready to fall, but Mickey's still running. Oscar gonna grab the kill, and it's Humanoid in the middle of G2's jungle with the ball set up to make it work. A double kill for Oscar, and Fnatic can just turn right to the Baron.
A robot from the brushes comes to surprise G2, and Fnatic will turn towards the Baron. A beautiful setup using that vision they just established on that top side, and G2 hadn't cleared it out. And just like that, it will be the Baron now. Might lose out on top tower as Caps is trying to make sure he can get them. Probably has to TP away from that. Although maybe he just able to reset with everyone on Fnatic committed to that objective. But really nicely done by Fnatic.
Certainly. We take a look back at this. Quick spot. I love the vision toggle here. Thank you, observers. Finding him. Instant full confidence flash here. TP in the brush. Unspotted. G2 have not been this scared of animatronics since they played Five Nights at Freddy's for the first time. Absolutely just instant shockwave comes in, and I mean, it's plain simple. Vision control leverage well. Rob, I love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, now we're just looking to see if it's Five Nights at Fanatics and what they're going to be doing in 5 nights' time next weekend to see what they're going to be up to. Because this is looking like a commanding win from Fnatic at the moment, and as long as they are able to keep that pressure, they should be good. But always keep your eyes on Caps. Is going to Shadow.
Well, and I think
Oscarinin on the bot side.
Yeah. G2, of course, a lot of times when they fall behind, will just try to overload a side lane and create an advantage by forcing the enemy team's hand. And a lot of teams stumble around those moments and those opportunities. Obviously, the bounty here is big. 6K gold lead for the side of Fnatic and extend as they get this tower, but G2 will match the tower in the bottom lane. Broken Blade looking to knock the wave back, hoping to hit Oscar as well. But the tower just getting focused down here. Broken Blade not afraid to tank a little bit more. So the overall gold would favor G2 if it was tower for tower, but Fnatic are just continuing to break open the base. G2 clearly do not want to fight at all, but they're losing so many objectives.
It was actually crucial Oscarinin got the wave there. Made sure that they can't keep up the pressure on this bottom side, especially with 3 members down there. So now you crack open top, you're going to crack open mid as well. And Oscarinin might even stop the base of Caps there as well. He does. So now Fnatic knows that the main damage source on this G2 roster isn't going to be with them for this fight.
Counter-strike coming out. Razork taking down the inhibitor. That's 2 inhibitors down for Fnatic. Setting up a pretty nice victory lap through this game. G2 maybe get one more opportunity to fight around the next big objective. Otherwise, it should just be the Fnatic win, bringing us to game 3.
And as well, you've even got the Dragon just coming up in a moment's time, so keep push on bot side, start to move out. I don't think we'll see G2 commit to the fight, especially when you've just lost both of your inhibitors. Probably going to try and push out those waves as far as possible from their base, so then they've got a bit of time before Fnatic start that repeat process of trying to crack open the base. But for Fnatic, I mean, this is a significantly stronger game. Keeping control over bot side, Humanoid and Razork having a fantastic game. Like, this was the Fnatic that I think a lot of fans were hoping to see today, where it is this combo, this duo in the mid jungle that has stood up so proudly for Fnatic over the last few years, once again stepping up again.
Certainly are at this point. Natural points of pressure now with super minions running down mid and top lane, so Fnatic go to the last place they can. Logically good. Hook going in onto Yike. Nice knockback. Xin creating as much space as he can. Broken Blade trying to get a bit more maneuver, but Jun has given his life. The tower down. Fnatic, I don't think they want to keep taking this fight. Mickey healing up. Yike still standing. Caps ready to set up a tower if needed, but G2 will back away. So a single kill traded for the tower at the end of the day.
The ultimate coming in clutch for Yike. No one could finish him off thanks to the ability to be able to dissuade a lot of that damage that Fnatic wanted to throw his direction. Still though, tier 2 tower goes down. It will slow down Fnatic for the moment, but realistically, we're just waiting for 2 minutes and 50 seconds until that Baron spawns next. We're going to be looking to push out waves, keep the super creeps in towards the base of Fnatic, and then move over towards that objective.
Well, Fnatic also incredibly close to Mountain Soul. They have their pick of the litter when it comes to the big objectives. G2 take this brief moment to try to establish as much vision control as they possibly can. So difficult for Mickey on an Enchanter to walk in by himself. Only a single blue trinket in the back pocket of Han Sama is going to make contesting any objective pretty tough.
Yeah, I just don't know how you try and come back into this. It's just so incredibly
I'm going to be honest,
yeah.
you do the thing that we always say as casters in a game with Poppy in it is just like one really good Poppy ult onto 4 members of Fnatic. I don't even know. I don't even know who you want. You kind of want everybody out.
Yeah.
Is the problem.
I mean, I feel like if you can get rid of Humanoid, maybe you can then turn the fight, because Humanoid is a lot of the damage, but And Caps with Void Staff now completed, like, he hurts.
Yeah.
And he wants to try and show that to Noah, who there's
is
point
now
in case.
recognizing that, yes, Caps does in fact hurt, so there's potential for the Azir. Hansam at 2.5 items, not really ideal, but again, it's the AP Gragas topside, so Fnatic are a little bit squishier than they appear outside of Razork, who is very tanky just as he appears.
I think this is where, if you can find that fight for Caps, you do have a chance, but the shockwave damage for Humanoid is going to be very impactful, and
Against the recalls. The debate there, if they wanted to full commit to just try to run Humanoid down, but they opt not to go for it. Hansam is still clearing waves. And the thing to keep in mind is it's really important once you start taking inhibitors to get the next objective and end the game, because you are, if you don't do anything with that pressure, effectively funneling gold into enemy champions.
I think the problem for Fnatic is that there was no game-defining objective for it, right?
Yeah.
Third Dragon is good because it sets you up with the opportunity to have that game-defining Mountain Soul, but it's not the actual moment when you need to go all in. So I think this is where G2 are going to try and, again, just turtle, play it slow. You now have Caps to the point where he's strong. If you can get this Last Whisper upgrade to the LDR for Hansama, he's going to be in a good spot, especially with Milio in his back pocket as well. He's trying to get the Ardent Sensor, which could be a massive boon for both Caps and Hansama, because the Moonstone Renewer will share the the shield from the warm hugs onto both. So that will at least spread that, but we'll have to see if they're going to be able to make that work for themselves.
Just a reminder, this is a real job, and we're people who show up here to say warm hugs as part of our profession.
And Cozy Campfires.
And Cozy Campfires, and Ultra Mega Fire Kicks. And his ult.
And Happy Hour.
Happy Hour.
You know what?
To be fair, that one I'm not as, that one lines up a little better. G2 mounting the best defense that they can in this situation. Fnatic just trying to make sure that all the vision is choked out. There's no TP wards. There's no control. G2 could flip, go for the 50-50, but with Humanoid waiting over the wall, I don't think they're going to get the opportunity. Broken Blade stepping up forward on the front lines. Oscarinin just buying space with the casks here just to chip away. 5k getting lower, 4k on the Baron. G2 might try to force the fight. Hansama getting chunked out. That's a Poppy ult to kick things off, but it's not enough. Objective down. G2, do they want to keep this one going? If they let Fnatic walk away with the Baron, their chances might just be dead in this game. And they might not have another choice.
They're trying to try and go for the Dragon instead. It's up in about 40 seconds. So they want to try and make sure that they're able to get vision control down onto that bot side, get an opportunity to maybe look for a high fight. But I think you have to TP back out, especially with Caps. Make sure he's on the wave, pushing in. But the fact that mid lane Terra still stands makes it very, very tough for you to actually compete with Fnatic when it comes to the mid-wave push. And it means you can just continuously move in towards River afterwards. And there you see Fnatic doing just that.
And Humanoid just bought. He doesn't really need to go retreat, so he can hold that wave. Caps hooked up here. Pushback is big onto Razork, though. Broken Blade trying to buy a bit more space with the Death presence. Humanoid waiting, fishing for the angle with the ball. They're trying to catch him out desperately. Yike on the front lines, buying a bit more space with the Xin Zhao ultimate. Hansama knocked back to the wall. Razork looking to find the stun. Humanoid getting chased down. They just want to get the Orianna out of the equation, but Humanoid is still standing. Broken Blade now running. G2 now running. Flash out away from a single target. Shockwave. Fnatic still favored. Turning their sights on the Dragon and the Soul, but fishing for a bit more poke before they kick things off.
You got a massive amount of shurikens that just went away by Hansama, so that's why Fnatic peeled off, making sure that they weren't going to be fighting into a very souped up Aphelios. But now, with everything used, G2 decide to back away. It will be Fnatic getting Soul. G2 not really having much more. They're going to try and play for mid tower.
Back in the mid lane, trying to call Fnatic over to fight them. For now, Noah's still committed on the bot side with no TP. G2 should be able to walk in and get at least the first tower. I think the second as well, but they don't want to fully commit to this, knowing it could cost them their game. Caps' damage getting better and better, but Razork's still just so damn tanky. And clearly G2, I mean, this is what G2 do when they start to lose, right? They fish for any objective they can. They will trade you at every single opportunity just to keep the game going so they have more time to scale up. Fnatic now have squandered, effectively, a ton of their Baron buff. There isn't really a better choice, but they have been able to secure Mountain Soul, and that will stick around.
They still, though, should be able to push in onto the base here and make sure that they're... I was going to say crash onto bot wave, but two big waves just got eaten up there by BB, so not really having an opportunity to go for that.
And both inhibs have respawned. So if we square up and draw lines, it's just going to be a full-on 5v5, and you can see the damage dealt the entire game. Top laners are fake because they just trade the entire game, but Noah doing a ton of work here.
Walking G2, the Caps still has a lot of damage. Has the Seeker's arm guard as well, so has access to what was a stopwatch in the past, but I don't think they can defend the tower at least.
Walking up with Counter-Strike, that's big. Mikyx locked up, Mikyx barely making it out, but no, they have enough damage to finish the job. Knock back onto Oscar. But already one member taken out. G2, one final hold. Another hook from Jun. Razork gonna follow up. He's gonna find the stun onto two. Noah untouched on the backside. Humanoid untouched. Fnatic starting to take over in the fight. Cap's looking for his hero moment, but they just don't have the damage to finish it. Razork stepping in, push back clean from Oscar. Spanish jungle town making it work, and Jun cannot miss. Fnatic coming back. Fnatic finding the win and taking us to game 3.
Jun was throwing fakes at the start of this game, going, "Ah, no, you don't need to worry about me." And suddenly turns on the heat seeking and decimates G2. That was some insane hooks from the man.
Incredible stuff from Fnatic in game 2 to bring it back. Looking much more confident with that draft, with that early game. Razork and Humanoid taking over, but the whole Fnatic roster bringing it home. We'll be back after a brief break for game 3.